Oh, hello everyone. So I'm back. Let me fix these windows. Kind of got out of control here. Reset this one. So I was going to work a little bit on the Dream Build game. Try to get back into that. Move this one down. Oh, not that far down. Okay. Yeah, so I think I'm going to rename this game. I don't like me lagged. Yeah, so I'm going to change the name to... I think I'm just going to make it Myriad, I think. Looks like I already changed it in Bitbucket. I'm going to change it just... I was thinking Myriad of Legend. I'm just going to call it Myriad. So it kind of keeps the mystic and adventure. And I don't know about the RI. It's kind of like LI, Legend. So you just go into settings. And I'm just going to call this Myriad. There's probably been games called Myriad before. I can always change it again later if I do a real release of the game. But yeah, I just kind of figured out how to do this not too long ago. So what we need to do is let's go into our projects. And then let's go down to, I already called it Myriad of Legends here. I just want it Myriad. So now it's Myriad. So then you go into, I think it's HG, Mercurial, and HGRC. Let's edit that. And so we just need to change default to Myriad. And the rest of that's fine. So now whenever I make a change in whenever I make changes to the project, I open it up in SourceForge. There's also a place to change it in SourceForge. But sometimes it gets overwritten. So I'm going to go ahead and open. Press the plus symbol. Let's see if it's already in here. Local. Yeah, it's not in here yet. So I want to add, browse, projects, then add Myriad, select, add. So double check, we want to go to settings. Yeah, so now default set to Myriad. If that wasn't set to Myriad, I'd just click edit and fix it here and press OK. Let's get rid of AOE Modder. Yes, playing around with branching and the default branch. So I closed the default branch for this other AOE Modder project. So I'm trying to get this one to go back to be the new default. I haven't been able to figure that one out yet. So now I should be able to go to Unity. Yeah, I don't think I'll be programming very late tonight. I just woke up. It's almost 4 in the morning. So thought I'd do a little bit of programming, put me back asleep. So let's go open, go to Myriad. I really want to get the numbers popping out of the enemies' heads and get the enemies working. So select that. I need to, I don't know. I'm thinking about using the enemy statistics that I created for TTY GFX Adventure just as like a baseline. Reuse some of that old monster data. I could actually have like the same monsters that I created for that game. I put everything in a spreadsheet. Oh, is it raw? Yeah, if you're ever doing a RPG, I highly recommend using a spreadsheet. I used Excel, but it keeps things fairly... Oh yeah, wow, look at this. I put a lot of work into this. Monster base gold. Random. Base attack. Thought I had another one. Just with... monster data. But maybe this was it. Maybe this is all I had. 1 shot, 4 shot. I don't know what I was doing there. Trailer, they put in press kit. No. Is there a way just to search for Excel? XSLX. Okay, I just saw them all. XLSX. Maybe this was it. I thought I had more than this. Code, so yeah. Huh. Hate to have to go look at the code. 1, 2. So these are the levels for the player and the experience. Maybe that's all I did was the experience for each level. I derived the enemies off of these. Oh, low health. Low attack, high health. Yeah, this is interesting. It's been a while since I looked at this. But I'll use these as starting points. Meadows 1 shot 2. So I'll start out with 2 attack. See, I need to get the game running first. Never did get this guy walking around right, I don't think. I want this world to be like... But the movement's pretty good, and the attacking's pretty good. I just need to get the slapping working. Yeah, I didn't remember getting the walking right, but it does look like it is correct. The sword looks pretty good. Let's get some enemy movement going on here. Scripts, enemy, So I don't know if I want this to be one of the games where if you just touch the enemy, you get hit, or if the enemy has to wind up and attack you. Let's do 6 HP. Hit chance 90%. I could put the movement in here, then just override. Yeah, I don't know if I can do a subclass or not. That'd be the best way. Go ahead and do it here. Move enemy. Private void. Move enemy. Maybe I should put this in its own. Save. I can't decide. I'm going to put it in its own. I don't want a bunch of stupid countdown variables in the, like the definition of the enemy attributes. So I'm going to do a new C#. Enemy movement. So that'll be a behavior that kind of fits in with the behavior. So I keep all the movement for the first type of enemy right here. So float F speed gets, say 2. Vector 3 direction. That direction gets, let's have them facing random direction. Set random direction. Private void set random direction. So int I direction. No. Float F angle. F angle gets random. Was it just range? What the integer value? 0 to 4 times 90F. Vec direction gets, what is it, vector 3 angle axis? Axis angle. I have to use angle axis. Vector 3. There's like an angle axis or something. Let me look it up. Unity angle axis. Or axis to angle. Oh, it's quaternion. Quaternion dot angle axis. Vector 3 up F angle. Float. Did I do that wrong? Angle axis. Oh. F angle. Vector 3 dot up. So that should give me 0. Crap. Quaternion. What is this? Does this return a quaternion? Rotation. Actually, I could just do game object dot transform dot rotation. Gets that. So I don't even need a vector direction. So move enemy transform dot wait. Game object transform translate vector 3 dot forward times f speed times time dot delta time. So that should set all three in a random direction, either 0, 90, 180, or 270, then keep going that way at 2 units per second. So you got to break these things into smaller problems, solve the smaller problems, and but first what we need to do is assign, get the prefab. I'll go ahead and drag the prefab over here. Enemy. Then we need to assign the enemy movement script here. Then, important, you got to press apply. That way it applies to all prefabs, not just that one that you instantiated there. Okay, look at that. 2 going downward, 1 going to the right. Uh-oh. Do I need to do a randomized timer thingy? That's weird that they both went the same way the first time, but now you can definitely tell they're going random directions. So next thing what we need to do is have little walls going around. So these will be like bushes or rocks or something like that for now. The one thing I've really learned with Unity is not using the default game objects like the cube, especially the cube. Using the default cube is bad for most purposes because the cube is centered in the middle of the cube, but we don't want that. What we want to do is go here, go into edit mode in Blender, do a scale, scale by 0.5. Then go ahead and zoom in here. Then we want to do a GZ 0.5. Escape GZ point. What? GZ 0.5. Make sure you're in like the right mode and not clicked on anything weird or anything. Make sure your cursor is focused here. So I'm going to save as Myriad assets models. Let's call this wall rock. Or I'll just call it rock. Go ahead and close this. I could go ahead and texture map. I should really texture map that. Just so it's texture mapped. Let's go ahead and texture map it. So go ahead and go into UV1 file. What? Oh. File, open recent rock. Texture mapping. That way we have all the textures and everything already imported, which is a good thing. So I want to do mesh UV unwrap. I'm not going to do a great job of this. Project from view. Scale, say 2. G. Change this to face mode. 1. And do 3. A. Go ahead and change this mode so I can select through. Oops. So I'm select through. 3. Mesh. UV unwrap. Project. Oh, crap. Mesh. UV unwrap. Project from view. Scale 2. Move this like over here. So now we got that. Now we need the top and bottom. Mesh. UV unwrap. Project from view. Scale 2. Pull this down here. So now we got all these boxes. Go ahead and save. UV, export UV layout. Do a rock layout or layout. Is it rock layout or layout rock? I'll do rock layout. Export. Minimize. Going to GIMP. For some reason, GIMP is taking forever to load. On the stupid fonts. I don't know why it takes an eternity to load fonts every time. I don't have that many font directories created. Oh, look at that. I had my other window focused here, and I'm typing GZ5. That's why it wasn't translating. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the font. I think I just need to uninstall GIMP and reinstall it. Because it shouldn't take this long to look for font files. And it does this every single time. Actually, this is Dream Build Play 4. Take 4. File, open, E, go to my projects, Myriad. Because I'm thinking there's so many games out there just like one word, like Braid or Fez, or there's one Hue. It's like, okay, they didn't break any, but I don't think you can copyright like a generic term like that. I guess it just depends on when you're trying to, if your game will pop up in search results. So models, rock layout. See, this isn't even the greatest rock model to begin with. It's just a cube, but oh well. I want to make it this orangey color, maybe a little bit darker. Edit, fill, filters, noise. Maybe we should do some decor render pattern. I kind of want like a rocky, spongy look. There's solid noise. That's good. Let's create another layer. Fill. And turn this down a little bit. Opacity down. That looks good. File, export as, oops, before I do that. Really, I should have had that up there. I can disable that. File, save as, rock, texture, file, export as, rock texture PNG, export, close this, go back in Blender. It's like a 3-step process. You can go from Unity to Blender to GIMP. Then you get out of GIMP, get out of Blender, go back to Unity. So open, rock, texture. So yeah, right now it doesn't have the texture on it. Can do undo the select through. So I think if I do a file save right now and go back to Unity, it won't have the layout or the texture. Models. Oh, it does. That's interesting. Seems like the last time I tried it, it didn't get assigned the texture until I actually turned on texture mode in the view. So this is an interesting problem here. So I want to, not a problem, but it's like, what do I want to do next? So I want to create. So like I was saying earlier, it's not good to use 3D objects, but to start out with, it's okay. Only for starting out. So 0, 0, 0. So this is going to be a rock. So as you can see, go into the scene mode, click on a rock. Half of it's under the ground. That's why I say using these isn't that good, because you can't move the mesh renderer around. It's just like stuck at that one position. So I want to remove that. So I want to get my rock model, pull it right here. So now the rock's sitting on top because I'm using the model, and the model is anchored to the bottom of the mesh. So the collider is still wrong, so all we need to do now is move the center of the collider up to 0.5. See, if we weren't using a model, then it would have still been stuck in the middle of the ground. So to prefab this, we just need to drag the rock over here. I'm going to delete the rock. So I got a battle manager. Do I need a level manager too? Should have called this level manager. I think I did battle manager when I thought I was going to do a turn-based RPG. I'm going to go ahead and do a level manager. So I'm going to use, let's see here. Looking at some pictures here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I want this to be 11 tall. I'm going to go ahead and open up Notepad++. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And go out here. Actually, I just need to delete these. I can make these levels bigger later if I need to. Then 11's a full one again. Maybe put a couple around here. Go into insert mode. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I'll have these automatically generated later. I don't know if I want to do that. File. Save as. So we want to go into assets and create a new folder called resources. Go into resources, create like overworld. I'm just going to call it room00.txt. So we got our resources. Where is it? Resources. I don't see. Oh, you got to click on it. Resources room00. It looks kind of messed up, but it should be right. It's because it's not a monospace font. It looks more. Oh, the spaces aren't the same size as the pound thingies. So let's go to scripts. Create C#. Level manager. See if I remember how to do this. So we want to have public. Is it text asset or text? Text asset. And we want an array of text level, text room, layout, start, load room, layout, private void load room layout. So what we want to do is go to level manager, drag the level manager script onto the level manager. The one thing I do like about Godot or Godot is like the script is automatically already assigned to the object. So you don't have to create a script and then assign the script. Seems like it's kind of pointless. Do I need to do Unity Engine UI or something here? Text asset, text room layout. Come on, pop up. I hate how slow this is. There it is, text room layout. Let's make it 1 for now. Go into our resources, drag room 00 to here. So string stir room layout. I want to call it text room map. I don't like layout. Text room map. Stir room map. gets text room map 0. Do I have to do text? I think I gotta do text. Yeah, so if you rename it, you gotta add it back in. So for, I think I can do it for each. String stir line in stir room map. Is it for each? Chart a string. I think I'd just use a stir room map dot split on new lines. Can I do this? For each char C in stir line to char array. Why can't I do? Get rid of that. Stir line dot to chart array. Why doesn't it look like this? Then I gotta do these backwards. So I need to add up here public game object prefab rock. Save. Wait for this to load. So go over to our rock, prefab rock, go down here. So it's going to be backwards to start out with. That's okay. Actually, float. No. I'm doing int row float. Int I row I call. Switch. Let's see. Case pound break. So if we have a pound, spawn rock. So we want this at new vector 3. I call 0f I row. Float. Float. I row gets, wow. String stir lines gets this. iRow gets stir lines dot length -1. iCall gets 0. Stir lines. So for here, we're going to do iRow -, iCall ++. And iCall gets 0. So we want to reset the column after. Private void spawn rock. Instantiate prefab rock vector 3 pos quaternion dot identity. Save. Oh, one other thing. Did I do the editor? Yeah, I've already done the editor autosave. First thing you always want to do is do the autosave. Hey, look, they're bouncing against each other. But it didn't spawn off. Room. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth here between different things. So load room layout, texture map 0. Spawn rock. Oh, I need to save level manager. Maybe I just didn't save. Nope. Okay, what's going on here? First thing, I need to get rid of all these stupid rotations. That's pretty cool that I can double click on that and it takes me right to that line. So level manager, debug, log, loading, level. So in the long run, I think I want to put the spawning of the player and oh, there it is. Wow. See, that's really small to move around. Should the player be 1 unit big? I think it needs to be much bigger than that. Look at how it popped the player on top of the block. It's interesting. And can you move out? Yeah, you can't move outside of the box. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it needs to be like twice as big as that. I'm gonna have these rooms different sizes too, I guess. Yeah, I think this needs to be doubly the size that it currently is. So it needs to be 22. Oops. One, two, three, four. Really, I should have this centered up. Did I mix the rows and the lines? Okay, that kind of looks the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I should really do to make this look really fancy pants, the position should be divided by 2. Or minus 0.5. Float, I call. Times minus 0.5. Float, I row. Times 0.5. Negative 0.5. I think that's right. That way the room will be centered on 0, which doesn't make a huge difference. It should be centered on 0, but it doesn't look like it is. Oh, they're kind of... Oh, no. Yeah. I don't want that. I messed that up. I think I want int I total rows I total calls. I total rows gets stir lines dot length minus 1. I total rows. Maybe just length minus 1. So now I really need to figure out what the longest, or I could just get number of characters in the first. Assume the first, they'll all always be the same number of columns. I total calls gets stir line 0. Really, I should if stir lines dot length is greater than 0. Make this appropriate here. Stir line 0. I mean, is it really worth it to loop through all the lines to figure out what the longest one is if I'm going to already assume that they're going to be the same size? I don't know. 2 chart array dot length. So I call minus I total calls times 0.5f. So halfway over. Oh, but total calls hasn't been set. Total calls gets 0. So by default it'll be 0, but it should get set. Minus I total rows times 0.5 f. Okay, so now it's centered up. So if I go to scene, so I have my 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I could recenter this up here. Go to game, kind of like walk to the center here. So I should be at 0, 0. Hero. Yeah, so there's 0. It may be 1 row off, I don't know. That's pretty darn close to the center right there. It may be off by 1. But I think what I want to do is try to get the camera where it can get as much in here as it can. And it's going to be off because it isn't a perfect like 16 by 9. Do kind of like an overhead shot here. So I want to get the camera and do move to view, align with view. Then I want to copy component, stop, then paste component values. Okay, so there I am, 16 by 9. There's my enemies. So that's working pretty well. It's kind of weird how he walks at an angle. He either goes down or... I do like how he faces 1 of 4 ways. That makes some things a little bit easier. I need like a little swoosh or something. That's a problem, that I can knock him around and move which way he moves, like that. So I guess I do, and the enemy need to keep track of which way he's facing. F angle. then in the rotation. Make sure he's always rotated the correct way. So now if I push them out of the way, they still stay moving the right way. Well, I need to add some damping or something there. It's like really slippery, slidey there. Okay, so here's the fun part. Float F, change direction, count down. Float F, change direction, count down max. Make this 5 seconds. If okay, F change direction countdown gets F change countdown max. F change direction countdown subtracting the sign time dot delta time. If F change direction countdown is less than or equal to 0, then set random direction. And then F change direction countdown gets, and we're going to save all these little fractions of a second here, just so it's nice and elegant and everything. Gets F change direction countdown max. And actually, we're just going to add. Let's just add an assign F change direction countdown max. So we're going to add the maximum amount. Then we save whatever's already ticked off as well. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they go the same direction for too long. Make it 2. One, two, 1, 1, 2. Okay, that's good. I need to add some code in there that makes it so that if he collides with the play, or if they collide with each other, then they go their own way. One thing I need to fix is in the level manager. game object GOBJ room gets game object dot find room. Game object GOBJ rock gets instantiate that. I think I have to cast it as a game object though. Game object. So then I want to do GOBJ rock dot transform dot set parent to GOBJ room transform. So that way it keeps all of the rocks within this room object. That way I don't have like a billion things showing up here. So I can just expand and contract the room as I need to. So it makes the other things a little bit easier to manage. So enemy movement. So I want to do void on collision enter. If, oh, there's one other thing. So when I spawn this, I want the GOBJ rock dot name to be rock. Oh man. Yeah, rock. If collision dot game object dot name equals rock, I can do this easy. F, since I'm changing the angle on every frame, F angle add and assign 180. If F angle, oh, I could do like a mod. Can I do a mod there? If F angle is greater than or equal to 360 F, F angle subtract and assign 360 F. I don't know if you can do a mod on a float. I don't think so. Float mod. So now it should rotate 180 if it's a wall. Look at that. That's beautiful. And also I should... Oh no, he's bumping into the wall. Now he can't get out. So yeah, I've noticed that in other games too, where some reason. Oh, I bet it's because he's bumping onto the... Oh, I know why. Because you can get multiple collision enters. Or no, maybe that's on collision. Yeah, I think there's a problem with getting multiple on collision enters. It's going to flip the angle. It's going to keep going. I think that may be a problem for another day. Yeah, so the first thing I want to fix... enemy prefab enemy. But when I spawn the enemy, battle manager. Game object GOBJ. I really should just go ahead and put this in the level manager. So go ahead and go here, then I'm going to put, what is the enemy going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't, yeah. Enemies will be E's for now. So let's save. Run. No enemies. So let's go to level manager. So case E. Spawn enemy that location. Should do a spawn floor as well. I can do that later. Spawn enemy, game object room, game object enemy, instantiate prefab enemy, GOBJ enemy, enemy name gets enemy. The only bad thing is when I get to have different types of enemies. Game object, prefab enemy. Might have to work into like checking the type instead of the name. Or it contains the enemy component. That's what I really need to do. Check and see, instead of on the name, check to see if this game object has the enemy component. I guess I could do that. Or on the collision at least. Enemy. Enemy movement. So we're going to rotate the other way. I think I want to rotate the other enemy too. 180. Oh no, it barfed on spawning the... Oh, I didn't pull it over. That's what the problem is. Prefabs, enemy, run. So there they go. Now watch him bounce. See, they bounced into each other and went the other way. I'm pretty sure they did. I like how they bounce and go the other way. But see, he's like bouncing back up and down. Wow, I think the collision here where he's bouncing around is because when I found some other thing about a different way to do collision so you don't get pushed out, like a pre-collision something or other. So if I collide with the sword, then I'm supposed to destroy. Let me turn on box collider. I think I turned that off for a reason. Definitely need that on. I think because the sword was pushing the player or something. See, the player's rotating over because the sword is continually colliding with the player. That's a problem. I could make it a trigger. Public void on trigger enter. If other dot game object dot name. Oh, I know one other thing. Sword. Destroy game object. I need to set. Oh, I did set it to sword. So, but really, I need to check if the sword has triggered the enemy, not the enemy's triggered the sword. Oh, that works. That feels pretty solid right there. That's pretty cool. I think the one last thing I want to do is the floors. Let me do the floors real quick. It'll be very similar to the walls. So, but here I want to do GZ minus 0.5. GZ minus 1. Scale Z 0.2. Oh, that's all weird. Scale Z 0.2. Could just get this close. Grab these, make this 0. Okay. So, file, save as, ground, save, UV editing, 1.5. I'm just going to do mesh, UV unwrap, cube, scale. UV, export, ground, layout, export, go to GIMP. It's like the longest part is waiting for GIMP to load. Could go over here and Level manager. Spawn. Ground. Ground. Prefab ground. 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 It's a weird word, ground. Ground. It's like round, but ground. Prefab ground. So now when we spawn a rock or an enemy, we're also going to spawn ground. File, open, projects, myriad, assets, models, ground layout, new layer, okay, move it down. Oops. Get a green, edit, fill, filters, noise, HSV. Okay. Colors. I think I just want to do new layer. Okay. Edit, fill, pull this down. So it gives it a little bit of random color in there, but not too, but it still keeps it green. File, save as, ground. Texture, file, turn off this layer, file, export, ground texture, export, close GIMP, go back to Blender, open, ground texture, there it is. I think I can just save it now. I don't understand sometimes why it doesn't get the texture. Maybe it's just got to be assigned before the first time it gets imported or something. There it is. It's kind of weird that it's displaying right there in the games. Ground. When did I make a ground object? That's weird. Room. Oh. That's weird. So it's like I already had a ground model? Because I thought I had a ground before, but it was a... That's bizarre. So like... Use the name of the other ground model that I created. Maybe I had a model named ground. Okay, whatever. Did I have a ground prefab? No. I think I'm gonna just undo that. So game object, 3D, cube. Gonna kill the mesh renderer. Going to put this at 0, 0, 0. Go to models, pulling the ground here. It's going to be a ground with a capital G. Oh, that's 2x2x2. Crap. 7. Scale 0.5. File. Save. There we go. So that should be right. So the box collider needs to be at a negative 0.5. Oh, but it's still off a little bit. Look at that. I wonder if it's scaled. Yeah, when I did the scale, it moved it down too. Dang it. Move that there. Default 1. Want this to be at 0. So now this should be perfectly lined up. There we go. And I can make Y like 0.2. Then I need to make this minus 0.1. Okay, so that's good. So I could make a prefab out of the ground. And delete that. And now on level manager, I just drag in my ground prefab here. Oh no! Look at that. Kind of surprised he doesn't fall through the world. Oh, look at that. He's falling over. And I can like hit him with the sword and he dies. File, save. The hero is not constrained. Why is he not falling? Room. Oh, I still got this collider here. I'm turning the collider off the room. I guess it's fine to have that collider there just in case. But really what I want to have is case blank. Then I just want to spawn the ground. Yay. Look at that. That's not right that they die just by hitting my sword. I actually need to be active. Yeah. Wait. Player. No. Hero. Hero. Gets game object find. Find objects of type. I think that's what I need to use before. If hero does not equal null. If hero attack. Public bool get is attacking. If F attack delay is greater than 0. Bool B. B gets false. B gets true. Return B. So enemy hero get is attacking. I'm just going to destroy. Later I'll do the calculations in there, but let's just destroy right now. Crud. Did I put that in the wrong space or something? Oh, I need another brace. So now if I just randomly run against him with the sword, nothing happens. But if I'm actively attacking, then he'll kill the enemy. That's pretty cool. I like it. It's a lot of little bricks. No slowdown either. Okay, I think I'm going to call it quits. It's like an hour, almost an hour and 30 minutes. So I think I got quite a bit done there. It's coming together. Got most of the basics. Just need to add the RPG elements in there. I should really make like this a kill plane, move it down. It's like if you fall through that, then you're just going to die. Save. Save project. Close. Go ahead and commit. Level or room generation with text file. Enemies move randomly. Killed when attack. Yeah. Kill enemies killed when collide with sword and hero is active. What else did I do? I think that's it. Added rock and floor prefabs. So yeah, that's just a little bit to move this project along. I know I've kind of stalled out on it, been pretty busy. I'm going to be taking a day of vacation on Monday, so I might work on it. Work on it over the weekend, maybe a little bit on Monday too, get back into this one. So takes a while to commit. especially when you haven't worked on these things in a while. And if you have big Blender files or textures, but I really didn't have too much new. Okay, there it goes. Default. There's my changes. Yay! Okay, thanks everyone for watching. Be back sometime soon.